Hey, welcome to the Grow with Joe podcast, episode number 5. On episode 4, we talked about relationships, and today we are going deeper. So today we're going to talk about romantic relationships. If you haven't watched the previous episode, make sure to go back and watch it, because that covers the basics of any relationship. Any relationship that you want to have a deep connection with, have a successful relationship, it requires what I said in the previous episode. So today I'm just talking specifically about romantic relationships. And there was actually a post that I did a while ago on Facebook, and I'm going to go off that post because I talked about the 10 things that I learned after being married for 10 years. But there are a few other things I want to tell you about romantic relationships. You know, it says a lot when you watch a couple lock eyes with each other. When you see a man and a woman look at each other, no matter how long they've been together, you can tell a lot. And so today I'm going to tell you a few strategies and tactics, a few of the practical things that you can implement into your relationships just to boost them. But again, if you haven't watched the previous episode, make sure you watch that, because in that I talk about the operating system, which goes underneath. So all of these tactics and strategies are great, but they must sit on top of the operating system that I talk about in the previous video. So let's hit it. Number 1, seeds become trees. I talk about this principle in the post that I made. It's a very important one, and it's really important to remember that this little concept of how seeds become trees can shift your perception on everything. So especially in marriage, the little seeds that you decide to sow, whether good, bad, or ugly, whether they are going to bring about unity or division, these little seeds become trees. Now, having been sucked into all kinds of marriage counseling more than I would have loved to be, I have learned that a lot of people like to deal with trees. And so now when you're dealing with trees, it's hard work because there's a thick trunk, a thick branch, and it needs to be chopped down, and the roots have gone deep into the ground. And so this root system is thick and it needs to be uprooted. It's a lot harder. It's a lot more work. When you understand seeds, then you can understand that if you sow good seeds, small things every day, little things every day, becoming a good farmer is how I like to say it, is very important. And then you water these seeds, you nurture these seeds, and you allow them to grow intentionally. Then after 3, 4, 5 years, you have amazing trees that bear good fruit. Seeds become trees. A lot of times people just think, I got married, and because we decided we want a tree, there's going to be a tree. I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't work like that. If you want good fruit, you're going to have to be willing to sow the seed, nurture the seed, and walk the seed into fulfillment, into a big tree that is going to bear fruit. Seeds become trees. Same thing happens if you sow dumb seeds, bad seeds, divisive seeds. If you sow seeds of discouragement, seeds of division, seeds of that unhealthy, then eventually you're going to have to deal with a tree that is unhealthy, because like the seed is the tree. Like seed, like tree, like fruit. And if you don't want that fruit, don't sow that seed. And number 2, choice. You know, on the wedding day, we stand in front of all of these people and we make a choice. We say, I choose you. In front of all these people, I choose you. But the truth is, if you want a successful romantic relationship, you need to choose each other daily. On a daily. Every day, I get to choose my wife. And this is a big point. I want to tell you something. Love does not operate out of need. It operates out of choice. Love is not a need, it's a choice. The minute you get into the needing phase of a relationship where, we all know those people, that they're desperate for each other, they need each other, you can't have love where there is need, because love is a choice. If you read 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind, love is all of these amazing things, but love is always a choice. And God loves us. He's given us choice. Love always gives choice. It's a choice that is made, and it also gives choice. So when you end up in a place where you need someone, when you need them to complete you, when you need them to fulfill you, it becomes really, really unhealthy. So choice must be made every day. I get to choose my wife every day. I intentionally must choose her every day. Even as believers, here is something people don't talk about. I don't need to be here at home with my wife and my kids. This morning when I woke up, I had complete free will to walk away from this relationship, to leave this house. I totally did. Is that a good idea? No, but I had that choice, and so did she. But she chose to stay here. She chose to stay as mom, as wife, and I chose to stay as husband and as dad, because we made that free choice. It's a choice you need to make daily, so make sure you choose intentionally, and then you start to build a solid momentum. Now it's been 10 years since I've been married, and I've been choosing it every day. 10 years from now, that momentum from 10 years ago is huge, and it's going to keep us going. So love is a choice. Your wife, your husband, your spouse, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you're courting is a choice. Choose wisely. Okay. Number 3, intentional time. Time is the most powerful thing that God has given us to use. Time was created for us. We weren't created for time, but that is another podcast. So intentional time is super beneficial. Time where you choose to communicate, choose to put your heart out, choose to get to know her heart or his heart, choose to connect. Time is required, and it must be intentional. There are many couples who just sit, watch a movie, or watch Netflix, or just chill out, do other stuff, maybe even spend time getting physical. But if you don't spend intentional time communicating, exchanging heart postures, and talking about how things are going, where you're at and where they're at, and actually building that communion, which takes time, if you're not going to spend intentional time, you're missing out on the depth of that relationship. So number 3 is intentional time. Number 4, regular simple beats rare spectacular. Regular simple beats rare spectacular. Now what do I mean? I mean that there are some people who would rather go on a massive date once in a month or once in 2 months, a big date, spend $300, $400, $500, buy a massive gift and do all that kind of stuff. There are people that would rather have a whole weekend away once in a while. That's the rare spectacular, buy an expensive gift or get away, big holiday once in a while. And I am telling you, from my 10 years of experience, I know that if you show up every day in a real simple form, the little hugs, the little kisses, walking past, the acknowledgement of your wife, acknowledgement of your spouse, just the simple regular, just showing up, prioritizing the dinner time with the family, being there for the preparation of dinner, being there putting the kids to bed, just the simple stuff. Simple stuff. There have been times where me and my wife have been so tired, we just sit down and we have date night, just lying on a beanbag, having a conversation, eating some popcorn or whatever, But just the simple stuff. But showing up more regularly with the simple stuff is more powerful than showing up every now and then with something spectacular. Right? So remember that. That's number 4. Number 5, ninja weeding. Become a ninja at weeding. Weed out the crap. From the beginning of our marriage, we became good at weeding out. If we ever said anything or did anything or even made it look like there could be anything wrong, we talked about it and we removed it. We weeded that out of our marriage garden. It is very important that you are good at weeding things out. And you grab things when they're a seed. You don't have to chop down trees. So we're very conscious, very aware. It's important to be aware of where you're at, where they're at, and how your actions can affect them, how their actions can affect you, and how your inaction can affect them and their inaction can affect you. Become good at weeding things out. Even if your family or their family is speaking things into the relationship that's not healthy. There was a time where me and Kirsten, she came back after hanging out with some people, and I could feel that there was a wedge between me and her, and I didn't understand what was going on. And as I talked it out with her, we found out some of the things that one of these ladies had said to her, which was totally messed up, and it caused a divisive wedge to come in between me and her, and we were able to weed that out quickly. You see, so when you're doing the other steps that I mentioned, then weeding becomes easy because it's part of that interaction, part of that sharing the heart. Becomes very simple. So become a ninja at weeding out your garden. Number 6, benefit of the doubt. Always give the benefit of the doubt to your partner, to your spouse, to your wife, to your husband. It's very important. No matter how confusing it gets or how crazy it looks, they need to know that you are on their side. All right, so many relationships, I see how quickly the person jumps to the opposing side and starts to challenge them and comes against them. We don't want to go down that path. Benefit of the doubt. Always give them the benefit of the doubt and let them know, no matter what, you are always on their side. Love always believes the best. Number 7, watch your mouth. This is a big one. One of my early mentors said that once you say something, you can't take it back. So be very careful what you say, because words hurt. People say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, they lied. That is a straight up lie. Words have ruined so many lives and taken people to suicide. So watch your mouth. Be careful. Think before you speak. Some of the marriage counseling that I've been involved in, the things that husband and wife say to each other, blows my mind. You can't take things back, so you better watch what you're saying. Because once you say it, yeah, you can move past forgiveness and healing and all this kind of stuff. But once you said it, and they're gonna remember that you can think such things. Watch your mouth. Now, another thing I want to say to you is, in front of other people, especially, so me and my wife, in front of my kids, there are certain conversations we never have. In front of strangers, there are certain conversations we never have. I've seen husband and wife, partners, whatever, talk about each other in front of other people in public in ways that can be degrading, condescending, almost like a put down. We don't want to do that. So watch your mouth. That is completely unhealthy and not something that you want to do. And here's another thing I want to tell you. If by chance you say something that you regret or you didn't want to say, make sure that you never bring it up again. So if Kirsten said something to me or I said something to her and we walked through it, we talked through it, and we worked through it, then we put it away and we never bring it back up again. That is another mistake a lot of people make. They bring things up again. As soon as you bring things up again, you separate yourself. You cause division. You separate friendships. Proverbs talks about it. When you bring something, when you bring up matters of the past, when you bring up old matters, you cause separation. So be wise about that and don't bring things up. Number 8, understand covenant. Covenant's a big one, and covenant is making that choice, that deeper connection, that deeper bond, like an agreement to be connected on a new level. You know, when you get married in front of everybody, you make these vows, you make this commitment, and there is a reason that is so powerful. You are making a covenant in front of everybody else. Now, your covenant doesn't care about your feelings, your circumstance. Your covenant doesn't care about what happened today and what right you have to lose it at your partner or your wife, your husband. Your covenant doesn't care about these things. Your covenant only cares about whether you're keeping it or not. It's not even my job to make sure that my wife is keeping her side of the covenant. That's not my job. My job is only to make sure I am keeping my side of the covenant. I'm keeping my promises, my vows. That's what integrity means. I watch myself, not her. Okay, so covenant makes you understand covenant and spend time talking about that and going deep on that and becoming a person who can uphold the covenant. Number 9, fun times. Make sure you're having fun. You gotta have fun. This day and age, there's so much going on. Life is so busy. Being a parent of 3 children, I know it is very hard to find time to have fun, but me and my wife, we make sure we have time to laugh. We say the dumbest jokes. There's probably some jokes that we say to each other that you might hear and think are just stupid, but they're hilarious to us. We laugh when we're brushing our teeth. We laugh when we're doing the dishes. We make silly comments. We start doing silly dances. We wrestle with each other. I remember before we had kids, there was one night I woke up at 3 o'clock, woke her up, and we just went to Denny's and had a hot fudge cake. You know, just something random, out of the blue, surprising, just keeping it spontaneous. You know, make sure you're having fun. This is the journey, man. I've seen so many marriages, once kids come into the picture, they get stuck into a mom mode and dad mode, and before you know it, their kids are 18, they leave the house, and now mom and dad are stuck. Because now they're like, well, what did we ever have? Because they lost that connection. Make sure to keep it going. Fun times. Now, obviously, there's the physical stuff. There's the sex that you want to make sure that's going. You want to make sure there's attraction. Now, that's a whole podcast on its own. How to keep that attraction going and how sex is a small part of a deeper union. And people get things really imbalanced or don't understand this kind of stuff. That'll be in another episode. But make sure you're having fun. Number 10, glued up. I say stay glued up and clued up. And your glue is the Holy Spirit. He is the super glue that keeps you bound together. The 3-strand cord that cannot be broken. That 3rd strand is God. It's Jesus, it's Holy Spirit. It's the Trinity. Make sure God is in the center. So, do I trust my wife? Yes. But do I trust God with my wife? Do I trust God or my wife unto God? Yes. I go to God first, not to my wife. She goes to God first, me second. Right? And so when you do this, you understand He's the glue. He protects our marriage more than I could or she could. And we better understand that He is the glue and nothing can touch your marriage if you let Him be at the center. At the center. All right, so these are 10 other things that I kind of put up there and I've talked about. And I want to tell you something. Romantic relationships. It blows my mind how much men allow romance to die. Before you get married, men think differently. They wanted to go the extra mile and do all these amazing things, but once you get married, people kind of let it go. You want to make sure you keep the romance alive. And there are different things, and maybe I'll do another podcast episode on how to keep revving the romance. But some of these things that I've shared with you are very, very, very powerful, very simple, but very powerful. Relationships take work. Romantic relationships especially take work. If you're going to do life together, if you're going to journey together, if you're going to walk out dreams together and have children together and build things together, you got to make sure you prioritize each other. And romantic relationships are going to require your attention. It saddens me to see how many people throw this down the list of how important it is and don't pay attention till it's too late. And I don't mean necessarily divorce, even though divorce is very prevalent today and it sucks, but I mean dead marriages. There are so many dead marriages. Having a dead marriage is as bad as a divorce in many ways. So let us keep that romantic relationship, fun time, fiery amazingness going. I hope this helped you. Remember to like and share this with people. I hope you're enjoying these conversations, and hopefully you subscribe to our channel and let people know. And you can also find these podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. So join our Fuse Life group. It's free. It's on Facebook. Jump in there. Let's connect. Or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Love you lots, and until next time, boom. I'll see you on the next one.